family? Welcome back to the Dubs Only Podcast, episode 8, Ocho. As you can see, what we have out right now, we got two things that represent the number 8. We got the Kobe Bryant number 8 jersey, and we also got my personal favorite hoop and shoot of all time. We got the Kobe 8, the Kobe Nike Zoom 8. And if you've never hooped in a Kobe 8, I mean, the original Kobe 8, it's just one of the greatest shoes of all time, if not the greatest basketball shoe of all time. I mean, you look at it, this is pretty beat up. This is like the third time I've owned this pair, but you got your super smooth bottom, your sole, which had a lot of traction. It's super thin down low here in the midsole, which was easier, which took off a lot of weight, which made it super light, and low ankle cut, easy to move for ankle mobility. And just super light, super cut edge, and honestly, one of the most comfortable shoes I've ever had in my life. They had like that brand new the original Kobe 8, amazing. Haven't tried the new one, but maybe one of these days I'll get a pair. But let's start it off with episode 8. We're gonna kick off the episode with the Chargers versus the Vikings. Now, heading into this game, both these teams were 0-2, and it was looked upon that this might be the make it or break it point in both these team seasons. Because if you go 1-2, you have a 25% chance to make the playoffs, which is not great, but I mean it's still early in the season, so a lot of things can happen. Rather, if you go 0-3, there's less than a 1% chance of making it to the playoffs. So, of course, you always want to get as many wins as you can, but especially at this moment, this juncture with those type of numbers and history, it's better. It was do or die. It really was a do or die moment for both these teams, and we're gonna dive into it later in this segment. But the Chargers chargered, and the Vikings were the Vikings, and I'll explain to you later in this segment. But first thing, initial thoughts when it came to my mind. J.C. Jackson was a healthy scratch. Now, we have our number one corner who we signed two off seasons ago, or last off season, I'm sorry. And featured number one corner guarding the best receivers on the other team. And who are we going up against this week? Justin Jefferson, arguably the number one receiver in the whole entire league. So I was expecting to see J.C. Jackson in that matchup just because he has been playing since week 1. So was wondering, like, why isn't he playing? Was it like a discipline issue? Was it just maybe he was just benched just because his knee was swelling up and he needed to give it some rest? But what we had come to find out was he failed to go to court and or a speeding ticket, and maybe that was the reason. It was just a disciplinary issue with that. But again, it wasn't what I expected, just because J.C. Jackson, we paid 5 years, $80+ million for this guy, and for him not to be there but not suit up, I think it's looking pretty bad so far for him. But let's go to the game. What really stood out to me was the Chargers pass rush. Yeah, Tuli Tuipulotu, yeah, Joey Bosa making so much noise back there. Tuli was one who just got to Kirk Cousins almost every play, it looked like, making it difficult. And there was one play where Kirk was rolling out and Tuli just it was a rollout, it was a fake handoff. Tuli saw the back going, chopped his feet, was able to move to the other direction towards Kirk Cousins, and just the to be able to close the gap like that, like he did chasing Kirk Cousins, I was like, whoa. I think we hit on this second round pick this year. So was glad to see that. Morgan Fox was also another one who got a sack in there. Let's talk about Alohi Gilman. I mean, this another guy who was just all over the place, just like Tuli. I mean, should have had 2 fumbles. I mean, we saw the first one when he had it with Hawkinson, was able to just rip it out, which you're taught as a DB nowadays. Just if you got a chance to take the ball out, rip it out, the receivers can just go ahead and take it out, and that's exactly what he did. Momentum play, because I was on their first opening drive, and they were just going down the field just easily on the Chargers defense, and be able to get the ball out and end the drive at our, I want to say, around the 30. Great. He was able just to make noise in the backfield, trying to stop the run game. In the end, they were able to run on us all day, but he was able to make it difficult. And now let's go to the one that really stood out to me, where I say he had 2 fumbles. This is the second one, 2 strips. I want to said. Alexander Madison, where they're on the goal line, they hand it off to him. He's stuffed, but they just stuffed him. Like he just ran into the defensive lineman's arm. And Alohi, what does he do? Goes for the ball like a ball hockey is. Just go in, try to strip it out, rip it out, which he did. Chargers recovered, but what did the refs call? They said the play was blown dead because of there was nothing else happening. So they didn't like seeing that, but I love the way Alohi was able to be able to strip the ball out, even though it didn't count. He's still going for the ball, trying to cause that turnover, trying to get that momentum, especially, and also just not allow them to score, especially so close to the end zone. And so we're gonna continue with the Chargers. Keenan Allen had himself a wonderful day. Let's go ahead and see some of his stats. Here's Keenan Allen's stats. He was targeted 20 times, and out of those 20 times, he caught the ball 18 times for 250. Where is that again? So let's read some of Keenan Allen's stats. He had 18 receptions so let's go over Keenan Allen's stats. He had 18 receptions for 215 yards. I mean, the dude was just a beast. Was all over the place, especially when Mike Williams went down, which we'll get back. We'll get back after this. Keenan was able to make himself known, make himself open to Justin Herbert, and with Justin Herbert, I mean, making the ridiculous plays that he did, cross body throws, blitz, like over 80% of the time I saw, able to just get his team going. I mean, dude was 40 for 47, 405 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, stud, dog, like just a beast, honestly. And are we surprised? We shouldn't be. There's a narrative going, is Justin Herbert really that guy? He got paid the big bucks, but 0-2 with 2 opportunities to win the game for his team and wasn't able to do it. I think we got to shut those down right away. I mean, we've seen what he's done leading up to this point with the numbers, being able to. Yes, his win-loss record is not the best. It's honestly around 500, but wins and losses are not a quarterback sport and not a quarterback stat. That's a team stat. The quarterback doesn't play defense. The quarterback can't dictate what happens on defense. So people need to get this narrative out. Is Justin Herbert really elite? Is he top 5? Is he even top 10? I think all that has to be put to rest. So what can we expect from the Chargers going forward? I think maybe this is now the point that the Chargers finally get the ball rolling. They play the Raiders coming up, and Jimmy Garoppolo is he's it doesn't look like he's gonna be playing because of a concussion, but I believe that the Chargers are gonna be able to maybe go on a run, maybe be able to get some wins here. Let's go ahead and look at their schedule. They have the Raiders, and then they have the Chiefs. Well, they have the Raiders, then they have a bye, then they have the Cowboys and the Chiefs. I think being able to get this win, go on a 2-game win streak, and then head into the bye is perfect. It's perfect what they need. Be able to regroup themselves, be 2-2, be able to see what's going on, collect yourself. Okay, let's have a mental reset and let's get the season going. And who do they open up with right after that? Dallas Cowboys at home. And who's someone that knows the Cowboys defense and has been going through it over the past couple of years? Kellen Moore. What happened to the Cowboys during last week? They lost Trayvon Diggs. So I think this team can go on a 3-game win streak and up until the point when they play Kansas City on the 22nd of October. So very excited. This is a great opportunity for the team. Get your win against the Raiders, go into the bye, get that mental reset, and be able to come home, get another win against the Cowboys on Monday night against a depleted Cowboys defense with no Trayvon Diggs, and then all's well go into Kansas City. Now let's go to the Viking side of this, which we really got to talk about because, like we said earlier, going 0-3 to start the year, it doesn't look like you'll be making the playoffs. And what the crazy thing is with this team is that the year before, they were able to come out on top, especially in all these one possession victories, games. That's not the case now this season. So far, 0-3. They lost to the Bucks, the Eagles, and now the Chargers with all opportunities to be able to come out on top. So what went wrong? I mean, with the Vikings, the final drive. I mean, Brandon Staley really could have lost his job if the Chargers lost, going for it on fourth down. I mean, I understand the kill shot, but no timeouts. Make them force them to come down the field and score. I think that was a safer route, but the Vikings were able to start at their own within their own 30 and below, and they just weren't able to do it. I mean, it surprises me just because of how efficient this offense was last season. And yes, Dalvin Cook is on this team, it's Alexander Madison. But when you have weapons like you do with Jordan Addison, you have T.J. Hawkinson, you have Justin Jefferson, Madison, you have these weapons. So it's not like they're down people. You have Kirk Cousins, who is a capable quarterback, so who's been there, done it. Well, not really done it, but he's been there. He has the experience behind him. But it was kind of frustrating to see from a Vikings fan perspective that you have the game, you're there at the goal line, you have you don't have no timeouts. Why not spike the ball, get everything together? Because once you're down there, you have to go for it all four downs, especially being down 4 points. You need a touchdown to win the game. So why didn't you spike the ball? Beats me, especially for a veteran like him. That was really confusing to see. And another thing that I saw was Kirk Cousins telling the fans to quiet down by going like this. I mean, I get it, just because you have no timeouts. You got to hear what the play is to get it off, but it just sucks, man. It just sucks, I guess, for the Vikings. You hope not to see that. Was it the fans' fault? No, because fans are fans. They're gonna cheer on their team. I would put more of the blame on maybe the offensive coordinator, and I would put a lot of it on Kirk Cousins, because as a veteran, you know the plays, you've seen defenses before, you know what designs to make, and it all comes back just to that spike. Come on, Kirk, you gotta do it. You gotta just go for the spike, reset. Got 40 seconds. Look at the play, call it out, make your adjustments. Talking with your coach, see what you want to do. So Vikings are going to Viking, I guess, is a new thing now. So let's go to topic number 2. We have the New York Jets. They lost to the Patriots this past weekend, and where do they go now after a 1-2 start with Zach Wilson? I mean, I saw that they brought in Trevor Siemian earlier today to the practice squad. Now he's part of the team. So what does that mean for Zach Wilson? Well, it means that you got to start getting it going, kid. What surprises me is that they haven't brought in another veteran or looked to trade for a veteran, because you have the team to win now. You have the weapons on offense. You have the defense. You have the opportunity to do what the Jets have been longing for a while. They haven't been really relevant since the Mark Sanchez, Darrelle Revis, Rex Ryan era. And you have this opportunity with this group of players, young as they are, talented as they are. You want to see them flourish, especially if you're a Jets fan. And I can kind of relate, because of the Chargers fan. We're not used to the good things. So whenever you have this opportunity to go and win now mode, you want to take advantage of it as much as you can. So we had a pretty good soundbite that we heard earlier today from New York Jets Super Bowl winner and legend and NFL Hall of Famer, Joe Namath. And we're going to play that today. And I was on the Michael Kay show regarding what he thought of Zach Wilson and just what he was feeling with the Jets right now. And we're going to play that right now.
You know what? No, I didn't take anything positive out of it yesterday. It was awful.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Were you watching?
Yes.
Was anyone watching? I mean, please. When did you ever see? It's Zach. We'll stay on Zach. You sit down. You sit down on the play. You go right down. What happens? I thought you're trying to win and make plays. You quit on a play. What is going on? It's disgusting.
If somebody handed you Zach Wilson and said, "Okay, Joe, make him better," what would you do?
Send him to Kansas City to back up against somebody like Mahomes. Maybe he'd learn something. I wouldn't keep him. I've seen enough of Zach Wilson. All right? I've seen enough. Has quick feet, can throw a little bit, but I don't believe what's going on up there.
And now let's talk about what the other soundbite that we have, which is from Aaron Rodgers, who is a regular guest on the Pat McAfee show on Tuesdays, where he tells his where they interview him, they ask him how he's doing, what's wrong with the team, what's up with the team. In this segment, of course, with the Jets going down 1-2 and all the hype that came in with Aaron Rodgers and the Jets when he was traded there, they're not having expectations to where they wanted to be. Well, and rightfully so, because they lost their number one quarterback. So they asked him about the Joe Namath thing, or they asked him just about what do you think about the noise and stuff like that. And we're gonna play that soundbite for you right now, and just I'll give you what I thought about it afterwards.
This is what teams have to go through. There's adversity points in every season. This year it's happening early, and people are coming for us. And there's some heated conversations on the sideline and different things. I think we need to hold our poise a little bit better. It sucks not being there. It's tough. It's really hard. I miss the guys. I missed the leadership opportunity. Missed balling, competing. Feel like if I was there, some of those things wouldn't be happening. Not sure we'd be 3-0. I don't know that. I'd like to think there's a possibility of that, but it's more the side stuff that I don't like, and that I want to see us stick together through the tough times. I said it to him, in preseason. Our toughest task has been handling success, and that's whether we're having success or not having success. It doesn't mean you're winning all the time and you got to handle it the right way. It's when we're not having success, how do we respond? How do we respond in adversity? And that goes for our fan base and former players as well. You're not helping the cause. You're not helping the cause.
So Aaron Rodgers, what I took away was you're not helping the cause. Former players, current players, all this stuff, especially with all this negativity that's going towards the team. Yes, you see the frustration on the team. You see, and rightfully so because of the expectation, like we said earlier. But got to come together. It's a young team. There's no real veteran leadership that's there as of right now. Yeah, you have some players who've been there, who've been in the league for a while, but they don't hold the standard or the bar that Aaron Rodgers does. And why Aaron Rodgers is not there, it kind of I wouldn't say disturbs me, but it kind of intrigues me. I would say, just because you say you want to be there, you say you want to help the team. Well, why are you in California and aren't you in New York with the team? At least recovering with your team, being there, showing the face. You can still be that vocal leader. Yeah, you can't play, but you can still be vocal in the locker room. Bring people up, bring the teammates up, be there to help Zach. Because overall, the job's going to be yours at the end of the day when and if you come back. So I would think that for the team to have stronger chemistry for the next season, I think him being there, this would help a lot. Now let's go with topic 3, and this one was a big surprise. We had the Miami Dolphins scoring 70 points against the Broncos, and that game was just insane. Let's see some of these stats real quick. So stats that we had for the day, we had Tua going 23 of 26. Oh my gosh. 309 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. I mean, only missing on three attempts. I mean, come on, dude. That's amazing. That's something else. Devon Achane, I'm not sure how to say it, but we're gonna hear his name more often, I presume. 18 carries for 203 yards, 2 touchdowns. Longest being a 67-yard run. Raheem Mostert, 13 carries, 82 yards, 3 touchdowns. Running game was going. Tyreek Hill, 9 receptions, 157 yards, 1 touchdown. Robbie Chosen, 1 reception, deep bomb, 68 yards, a touchdown. Mostert, another touchdown receiving, so it's on 7 catches for 60 yards. And Achane, another 2 touchdowns for him as well on 4 receptions for 30 yards. So between Achane and Mostert, they each had each had 4 touchdowns. Holy moly! That's man. 4 touchdowns each. I mean, that's some Madden stuff right there. That's like me playing against my little brother and me whooping him. I mean, am I surprised? No, not really, because we've seen just how prolific this Dolphins offense can be with Mike McDaniel making the plays, especially with all those deep balls from Tua to Tyreek. Jalen Waddle wasn't in this game, but him also being a factor, especially and all the other weapons, Raheem Mostert, and now we got this guy, a chain. It's gonna be very fun to see. We saw how they were against the Chargers, being able just being able to make those throws, especially on those crossing routes, those deep crossing routes. So they were able just to get chunk after chunk after chunk. Tua being able to step up in the pocket. Let's just talk about his pocket presence. I mean, being able to step up, move around, not be scared of getting hit. Him just being able to, if he does get hit, maybe take a sack, but getting the ball out real quick. That's what I like to see from Tua. And at the end of the day, it's gonna look like if things do continue the way they are, it does look like he's gonna get his money. Like we said earlier in the earlier episode, is Tua gonna get paid? I mean, I think he's answering the question right now, and the Dolphins are looking like the number one team out there in the NFL. Well, it's definitely they are the number one offense. No one can really beat them on that front. 70 points is amazing. So let's just see what's up. Can the Dolphins continue this? I think so. And what's gonna happen for the Broncos? I mean, they losing by 50 points, allowing 70 points. I mean, I'm glad I didn't have them on defense for fantasy, because I wonder how that score looked. Minus what? I'm gonna say 10 points. If you know, go ahead and comment below if you had them and tell me what their minus was. But yeah, where do the Broncos go? You brought in Sean Payton thinking that he was gonna save the problem with fix the problem or solve the problem with Russell Wilson, and so far that has not been the thing. That hasn't happened. 0-3 as well as the Vikings. Slim chances, what the numbers say, of them making the playoffs. It just goes to show you, was it Hackett? Was it Russell Wilson? Was it the team? What is the problem with the Broncos? Because you have all this talent as well on both sides of the ball. So just what is the problem with them? Are we gonna see? I think we are gonna see a hard reset coming up in the offseason if things were to continue. What we saw in this game is that Russ didn't come out the entire time, and what does that mean? I mean, for me personally, the way I interpret it is just you're gonna live to tell the battle, man. Like, and not in a good way. More of a you made your bed, now you gotta lie in it. That's a better simile, or a better comparison, whatever the word is. But what do the Broncos do? I have no idea. I think they should. If things continue to go south, I think maybe you bench Russell Wilson and then tank. Try to get one of the upcoming quarterbacks that are going to be going in the draft next season. And yeah, that's what I would do if I were in their position as GM. And you don't want to say it, but you think it. And now let's go to our final topic of the night, and it's the Jordan Love era. Coming into this season, everybody was wondering, is Aaron Rodgers going to be traded? Is Jordan Love finally going to get his chance? Because he's been sitting back up to Aaron Rodgers for about the past 3 seasons. I mean, 3 years under, if you're a first round pick and 3 years sitting down, you're not making any contribution to the team. So it was time to see what the Packers had in Jordan Love. And so far to this season, he has been delivering. They're 2-1. He had himself, I want to say, his best game of his career. Not in the aspects of numbers wise, but in the aspect of adversity, being able to come back and find a way to will his team to a win. I mean, they were down 17-0 against the New Orleans Saints at the 12:30 mark. That's when the drive started for them, and they got some points. That drive ended up with the field goal, 17-3. Then the defense was able to get some stops. Now, albeit it was against Jameis Winston, but that Packers defense, even without Jair Alexander, they were still able to get a lot of stops and be able to give opportunities to Jordan Love, who was throwing the ball out of his mind, making crazy passes to Romeo Doubs and the other receivers. So yeah, it was a tough. It looked like a very tough day for him, honestly. I mean, like we said, 17-0 at the 12:30 mark in the fourth quarter. You needed to get some points on that drive, and he was, like I said, he was able to get that field goal. Let's see, until they in the third. But even prior to that drive, you could see that he was able to get into a flow. Even though that they turned it over on downs on 4th and 2 in the red zone. He was still able to keep the focus. He had the opportunity. He said, "Okay, I'm gonna go out there and score for my team." That's exactly what he did. Being able to come down, score 2 touchdowns. One drive had 2 back-to-back pass interference calls, which helped them move the chains. And he scored the touchdown, got the 2-point conversion after that. Then was able to get the ball back from his defense after a 3-and-out, and they stopped Michael Thomas short on 39. And him just being able to go down the field, get that touchdown, and put his team up. It's just great to see, especially for a young player like him who was really coming into his own in this opportunity. A lot of people doubted, is he ready? Is it time? What's going to happen with him? And I think now up until this point, he's just showing his value, what he has learned from Aaron Rodgers. And I think there'll be more to come for him. And that's the one thing that I'm looking forward to this Thursday, which will be tomorrow, that I honestly see it as his first real test going against the Detroit Lions, a division opponent, an opponent in the a division opponent that you see competing for you with the NFC North title. Because if you really think about it, the Vikings, like we said earlier, 0-3. The Chicago Bears doesn't look like they're going to be getting anything going. So it really comes down to both these two teams. Is Jordan Love going to be able to continue the tradition with the Green Bay Packers and dominate this division? Or are the up-and-coming the up-and-coming Detroit Lions going to be able to finally take the division for once in how many years and be able to stay on the throne and be able to run the division? So this is going to be my first real test that I'm going to see from Jordan Love. Does he have the guts? Does he have the will? Is he mentally ready? Because this, all in all, this is going to have some type of playoff atmosphere feel to it, what I think. So that's going to wrap up episode 8 of the Dubs Only podcast. Appreciate all y'all for watching. We're going to keep going at this. I'm not sure if we're going to do every week or maybe every other week, but we will be having episodes on Wednesdays, and we're going to keep going through that. So thank you guys again for watching. Subscribe, like, share this thing with your friends, family, mom, dad, baby mama. I really don't care. Just help us get those views up. Appreciate all y'all. Again, numero Ocho. Shout out to the Mamba, LA's finest, LA's own. We love you, man. Deuce.